Hello everybody, welcome back to the cabin. Welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. It is the first video I filmed in 2024. It's crazy. I mentioned before that we had filmed 5 videos a week for 3 straight weeks because the sales were so good, and that allowed us to take a little time off right at Christmas and then the week after Christmas as well. Matter of fact, not the week after, 2 weeks after, and then we came on back from a little bit of a trip we got to spend with some family and some friends. It was a good time and a much needed break. And that led me to a comment because I mentioned that on some of these other videos. And I had some comments about taking time off, and some of them were rather mean, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm going to read you 2 different comments, and they're 2 contrasting different comments. And the reason I'm going to do that is because after we get done with a few sales, there's a topic that I think is really important to a lot of folks out there. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right because I used to feel this way all the time. And I started to feel this way during Q4 this year. And doing this kind of really helped me, not just with my business, but with my psychology as well for a little bit. And I want to get into that and get your opinion of it. But we've got some awesome sales coming. Let's go take a look. Thank you, by the way, for the concern of so many people who sent me messages. Hey, your store, there's nothing listed in it at all. Because I did 2 types of shutdowns this year. This is the first thing that sold. It's Virginia Tech jersey. You've probably seen us sell a bunch of this stuff. We still have some left over. It's a 3XL number 42 jersey. It's absolutely massive. I'd swim in this thing. And this one sold not for as much as some of the other ones did, but still $41 plus shipping. It was nice to see some clothing sales while I was away, for sure. And this came on, these sales that we're looking at right now came on what I'm going to call the hard shutdown versus the soft shutdown. This is an old LA Rams jersey, old nutmeg, made in USA. So this is the LA Rams before they became the St. Louis Rams, before they became the LA Rams. And this one sold for pretty good money. I think it sold for $55 plus shipping. This one came from that great t-shirt buyout. I don't know if you remember that, but this Rams sweatshirt was in that t-shirt lot, that massive lot. And that's a pretty good little seller. Somebody came in for a treat, but there's no treats, buddy. I'm sorry, there's no treats. I haven't refilled them yet since I've been back. I think I'm gonna have to run and get some treats. Got the ladder in the way back here, which is one of the points I want to make today as well, because that's where my supplies are. And we're gonna get into some things. You know, a lot of people do a lot of things, well, I can barely get around it, that don't really help them get eBay sales, and I'm gonna give you some specifics today. Here is an item that's sold. It's a cross-listing sale, actually. Not a bad little sale, and I don't remember what it sold for right offhand, so I'll have to tell you here in a minute. Boy, I don't think I can get that out of there. It's like a puzzle. Can I get it out that way? There we go. And this one's been around for a little while before it sold. And I don't know what platform this thing sold on. Let me check, see what it sold for. It sold for 39 bucks plus shipping. That's not bad at all. There's some extras in there as well. The helicopter, I can't remember his name. But some of this stuff sells pretty good. If somebody's missing a part or it's not working, they want a replacement part. And some of it just takes up space and doesn't sell. But that one was pretty good. Before we get to the topic, let me talk about the hard shutdown versus soft shutdown. Soft shutdown is you shut down your store and you say you'll accept. Most of you know this, but some of you may not. If you don't have an eBay store, you don't, because you can't do all this stuff and put stuff on sale and all that. But you shut down your store, but you still allow sales. So I did that before Christmas, and then after Christmas, I did a complete shutdown for like 5-6 straight days. And at the end of that, I opened it back up to allow sales, but I wasn't going to ship them for 5 days. And it gave me like a 10-day break, which is absolutely amazing. And I really needed it for multiple reasons. And one of them I want to talk about in a minute. Pull this out of a Tupperware bin, even though it's not Tupperware, it's melamine. Bought these at a sale in a huge lot with some other stuff as well. Down at the 301 last year, I was with ADH Dave. And this is the first batch to sell. And I think we have 3 batches. This one didn't go for a ton, but it still sold for 23 bucks. Plus shipping, it's the second of 3 cross-listing sales. And here is the third. We're going to get to our topic a little bit and keep pulling some sales. Movers and shakers. This I don't even know where I got this from. I've had it so long. I don't even know. I don't even remember buying it. Maybe I didn't buy it. Maybe my wife got it at Goodwill. $15 for this one, plus shipping. Now, since it is the new year, I suppose I don't normally... Well, I do resolutions, kind of, sort of, but I might not be like a lot of other folks where I only And I love lists, by the way. Love lists, like to-do lists and stuff like that. It's how I keep myself organized. Matter of fact, I made one 2 days ago, and I didn't quite get through it, but I got through a lot of it. And part of that is because I did shut the store down, and I didn't have to ship till today. And you're seeing this after the fact. The next video after this will be a little bit more caught up. You know, we're releasing them within 2 days or so of filming them, 1 day, 2 day, maybe 3 days, depending on the day. But it allowed me some time to do a bunch of stuff that I needed to get checked off my list so I could effectively and productively move forward and sell things. But this is going to cover two different things. It's going to cover some practical things like that, but it's also going to cover the psychology of this, because for a lot of us out there, you know, everybody's not the same, of course. You know, you have to have things in a certain way in order to function so that you get the joy out of it that you're doing it for, and you also get the productivity and the money that you're trying to get out of it. I set this camera up here and I see the chickens there, the rooster's staring in the window, Wallen's got a baseball bat in his mouth, and No Name's just staring at him. Good to be home. At any rate, I want to read a comment here that can be context for both of the points that I want to make, both the psychological aspect and the practical aspect of shutting things down. But I want to get you this first because I think it deals with both of them in a strange way, and it's very critical of me, not just me, but also Dave, ADH Dave. So you and ADH Dave are both content creators over actual business owners. That's how you can close your store down so easily, and us other resellers actually have to keep working because we're actual true resellers. And the information that you're giving is nothing more than clickbait. I hate to say that, but I always tell the truth, unlike yourself. So I was like, wow. But it did get me going down a path to think about some of this stuff and to look back at my experience reselling over I guess 22 years at this point, and different ups and downs in the reselling game. And I think going forward, I'm going to continue to do this at basically the same time every year for two different reasons. Let me just say this first as well. There are folks out there who are watching right now, who are in this audience, that are literally living hand to mouth. And there's all kinds of people in all kinds of situations out there. And some folks work, 40, 50, 60 hours a week, and they do this as a hobby. They do this as a second income. They still need it, but they don't necessarily have to have it so bad that they can't take a break. This Starbucks mug right here, and I think the Dallas Starbucks mug right there, sold, and they sold for $21, $20.99 plus shipping. They sold together. And is this one to a viewer? I don't think so. Nope, definitely not. But for those people who literally financially can afford to take a break, I think it's extremely important. I always have taken a break. I've been reselling for 22 years, like I said, and I've always shut the store down at least once a year, and sometimes multiple times a year, because we go on vacation. I mean, that's what people do. And sometimes, some people can't afford that, and that's fine too. But every year we couldn't afford it, to be perfectly honest with you. My in-laws for 15 years have gone to the beach and paid for a condo for us because, I was teaching and reselling to make ends meet. And we didn't have enough money to go to the beach. But they wanted to go. My wife always went when she was a kid with them. And so they paid for the condo. Now we're in a situation where they don't have to fork over the bill for the condo as much, which is really, really nice for us. But we still go on vacation. And I think that, of course, there's a lot of people. Tell me down below, by the way, before I continue, if you shut your store down at all, if you do a soft shutdown or if you do a hard shutdown. And tell me if you never, ever, under any circumstances, do any shutdown at all. And I'm just curious to know, some folks out there, what you do. But I want to get into it just a little bit. And let's start with the psychological part of it as opposed to starting with the practical part of it. I'm not even going to make the argument about real resellers. Apparently me and Dave aren't real resellers. But, I will just say this, that there's one requirement to be a reseller, in my opinion. No matter what your other profession is, whether it's social media or if you're a doctor, there's one requirement to be a real reseller, and that is to buy something and to resell it, and that's it. Now, there are different methods that appeal to different folks and all that, and different content creators that appeal to different folks, but that doesn't make any of them not real resellers. Oh, the bottom latch came off of that. That's a Westinghouse toaster. Pretty cool old one right there. I'll have to get that latch back on there. And this one sold. Took a little while, but it did sell. Pretty cool. It's got a few little scuffs and scratches, but it's in pretty darn good condition. It sold for $39 plus shipping. And I mentioned that fake reselling bit right there because that is a fake sale. It's just for reference. Because Gloria bought it. Hope 2024 brings you and your family lots of blessings. Gloria, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy that old toaster. I love old toasters. I don't know what it is about old toasters, but I like them. And we had 4 fake sales today and 17 total sales. So almost right at that 20% number of fake sales. And I know a lot of real resellers that take a break, and we've talked about this topic before, and they tell me what they do on that break and when they take it during the year. And everybody's a little different, but there's a few that I know that do it almost exactly the same. Here's a sale, and this just got in here. So we just listed this thing. And this is the kind of thing I don't usually pick up, but my mom gave it to me because I gave it to her many years ago as a gift. And she used it for a long time, and she just doesn't use it anymore. She said, "Can you sell it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, probably." Polaroid DVD player, and it sold for $22 plus shipping. But I did say I'd talk about the psychological part first. Now, this is, you got to forgive me, my old teacher and baseball coach coming out on me, coming out on you here. And let me just say this, because, you know, there's a lot of criticism, and there's a lot of people that say things, and I read things, but that goes on not just in social media, it goes on all over the place. It used to go on with teachers. We go into the, you know, teacher lounge or whatever, which we didn't have one. We had a little room, but whatever. Just when we talk, and you could tell there's different types of personalities. There's the personality type that wanted to complain all the time. No matter what, they were going to complain about something. Everything could be going about as well as it possibly could at a public high school, and they would still complain. There's people who criticize constantly criticizing kids, students, parents, administrators, all of those people. They did it for, I'd worked with the same people for 20 years, and it was the same people in the faculty meetings that would do these same things over and over and over and over again. And then there's another subset of people that they weren't, you know, necessarily negative people all the time towards others, you know, always criticizing or always complaining, but they were comparing themselves. They would get down on themselves because they'd see one teacher that was having success with kids and they couldn't have that same success. And so I would always talk to not my students, my baseball players, because, you know, I coached for 20 years and there's constant ups and downs. You know, over those 20 years, we had teams that were incredible, that won all the time and that would go to playoffs, and we went to the state championship once. And then we'd have teams, I think I had one team that won 5 games one year, and, you know, that was a rough year. And those personalities are all kind of elevated. They're all kind of magnified when things go wrong and when things go right, but especially when they go wrong. And so some of those kids were complainers, some of them were criticizers, and some of them got down on themselves because they constantly compared themselves to other players who were having success or other teams that were having success, and it pulled them down. I say all that just to say that if your goal is to make this work, reselling work, those 3 things aren't going to get you anywhere. Constantly criticizing eBay, and there's always a time for all of these things, by the way. There's always a time to compare yourself to other people if you can do it in the right way. There's always a time to criticize if it's constructive, if you think it can move the ball in the right direction. And there are occasionally times to complain as well if you can do it right, and again, it moves the ball in the right direction. So I'm not saying there's never a time for these things, but if you make that your practice, if you make your bad sales eBay's fault, then you will never do anything constructive in order to help your sales go up. And I think that's a big mistake. Last time I did a video similar to this, I got a ton of criticism for it because it was like, oh, he's just blaming you, the reseller, instead of blaming eBay for the bad sales. That's really not it at all. Not it at all. Because there are mistakes eBay makes. There's constant mistakes. There's things that they don't fix, and I do complain about them, and I do criticize them. But I don't ever let that take the spot of me making things better for me. And that gets back to the beginning of the video where I talked about New Year's resolutions. I usually never make a New Year's resolution that isn't 100% contingent on what I can do. So, you know, I don't say, hey, I want to have this many subscribers on my YouTube channel, or I want to have, you know, $500 million in sales on eBay, or whatever. Because a lot of that I can't control. I make New Year's resolutions of things that I can control. You know, whether it's, you know, a listing goal, or I don't like listing goals like list this many. I think it's better to have like list this amount a day, because you're really trying to make money. It's not about the amount of listings, because you can list 500 crappy items that aren't going to sell and it's not going to do you much good at all. So it's more about the dollar amount, or making the goal about how much you're selling. So let's get away from that for just a second. Let's give this to Jason B. This is from 3 videos ago. I said it'd be 2, but it was 3. Sorry. 2352. Jason B. 2352 is the winner of the 925 Thrift book, Finding Silver. Let's give away another one. I'll put 925 in the comments below, and we'll give away one more. Thank you to Ari Gold for donating these to give away to this audience. We appreciate it. We'll send that off to you. Send me an email, commonwealthpicker@gmail.com, and your contact info, and I'll send that to you. So my team and I, when things would go bad, we talk about those 3 C's: criticizing, complaining, and comparing, and how they can really pull you down. There's a right spot for it. You know, sometimes I'd let kids come to me and complain or to criticize, but they do it in the right way. Well, they wouldn't always do it in the right way, but if they did it in the right way, they would usually get either an explanation for what I was doing, or they would actually sometimes teach me something, and we would implement things that they think would be better. And that's the way things should work. And I hope in the new year that you're setting goals for yourself that you can control, and that you're not dwelling constantly on the negative stuff, and you're really looking forward with positive attitude. I hope that's the case. I try to do it most of the time, and sometimes I fail, and I got to get kind of rebooted here. And that's part of the reason, the practical reasons why I took this break. So one of these Lufkin rulers, which I used to put in my antique booth, but I don't know. If I buy them for $1, I can sell them for $12.95. They don't quite reach my limit, but it's better than putting it in the booth to me, because they're so dang easy to ship, to take a picture of. So $1 into $12.95 plus shipping. I would have got 15 for it, but it was in rough condition. You can see the rust on some of that. This was a fake sale as well. Thank you, Marilyn. I don't think I've seen anybody spell it like that before. I've been watching your show for almost a year. First time buyer from you. I already have one of these, but I inherited it from my mother. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Anyway, I admire your ability to think up new interesting topics to discuss on your Flipper channel. Some might call it clickbait. Very thoughtful and inspirational. Thank you for the content. Please add the stickers as you do. Who doesn't like swag? Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. We'll throw some in there for you. Appreciate it. So let me tell you why I think there are practical reasons for what I did. Maybe not the way I did it, because I took a little vacation. I went to Arizona. I spent some time with my brother, who I hardly ever see, and his son and his wife and his stepdaughter, and we got to spend some time with my uncles. My mom and dad were there. It was a good family trip. I sold this right here, and it's the last of the Scrabble stuff. And I've told this story, so I'll kind of spare you. But this has, I don't know, 90-some racks in it. Is that right? 91 racks in it. There's 4 in each set, so that puts it at, I don't know, how many? 4 goes into 91, how many times? 25 times-ish? Not quite. 22, 23, something like that. At any rate, so I would have probably paid $22 for these Scrabble games. And just these right here. Forget the Scrabble tiles, which sell separate. The boards sell separate. So this right here would put us in the profit for what I paid for all the Scrabble boards. So the tiles and the boards are all pure profit. And this is profit as well. $46 plus shipping. That was a real sale. I'm sorry. My sarcasm. That was the one thing I got criticized as a teacher when, you know, administrators would come in. They're like, you should never use sarcasm in the classroom. I'm like, well, you need to fire me now, because that's not going to happen. Practical reasons. So here's what I did. I shut that store down, soft shut down before Christmas, and I was able to spend time with my kids. I was able to get away from the day in, day out stuff for a couple of days and focus on my family. So that's a huge benefit. Just, I mean, come on, that's why we do this, right? You want to have freedom. So, you know, that's part of reselling, to have that extra freedom, whether it's to take an extra vacation or freedom from the debt that's been accumulated over the years, where you feel like you have to work all the time just to pay a bill, just to pay a debt off. And so to enjoy that, if you're able to, is kind of the point of this. So I'm going to continue to do that. But this second hard shutdown which was followed at the end by a soft shutdown, gave me a 2-day cushion. And that's when I made my list of all the things that never get done for my reselling business that needed to get done. And I made a list. It was a whole page long, and I just crossed them off one at a time for 2 days because I had time, because I wasn't filming, I wasn't shipping, I wasn't even listing, although I threw a few listings in there. And I was able to do a ton of stuff. Let me give you some examples. I went and I ordered everything. Well, almost everything. I still need to get those clear, like sandwich bag type stuff, the suffocation bags. I need to order those. But I ordered all kinds of stuff, and I'm well stocked for the year. Not just this, but I have a small shed out there that is jammed full of supplies. So we're ready to go for 2024. I don't have to stop what I'm doing for the next few months and think about ordering anything. I'll do a little shield right here. American Bubble Boy. I love this, by the way. American Bubble Boy has a subscription plan. So every 3 months they send me, I don't know, what do I get? 4? I get 4 rolls of bubble wrap every 3 months, automatically sent to me. I don't have to order them or anything. And they give you a discount if you sign up for that. But I'm not shilling that necessarily. I'm just telling you that I don't like to take time out and to order things constantly. If you have the resources to do it, order a bunch at the same time. You don't have to do it. There's stuff I've ordered 3 years ago that I'm still using the supply for, which is really cool. I just got the tape. I ordered that from Joel. Oh, I guess I will shill it really quick. And I usually get 2 boxes at a time. This time I only got 1 because I still have 1 inside, but I probably should have bought 2 because it lasts quite a while. But you know what? Let's give 1 away. We're giving 2 things away today. My go-to tape over there. This is compliments of me, not Joel. He didn't pay for this one. I bought this with my own money. But thank you, Joel, anyways. Code Commonwealth gets you 5% off if you go over there. There's all kinds of different tape. They got 3-inch. They got all kinds of different stuff. So put 925 and my go-to tape in there, and we won't let the same person win both. I promise. But maybe you can get some tape. I was able to go through and to inventory 2 different sections of this shed as well, which we do inventory throughout the year, so it's not like we had to do it right then, but I wanted to get through a few things. The eBay cave in there, which we don't film in very much anymore, I've always wanted to turn that into a workspace / 80s cave, because I'm kind of getting old and nostalgic, and we just haven't been able to do it. So I went through and I cleaned it out, and we were able to at least get it to a point where it will be easy once we're able to get in there and hire somebody maybe, or I don't know what we're going to do. I got a buddy that builds stuff, and he's going to come in there and help me with it. But that makes me feel so much better. I could locate things easier because a lot of stuff is inside that we sell. The big stuff's in there, right? The small stuff's out here. The big stuff's on the bigger shelves inside in there. And those 2 things, and we did all kinds of things, but those 2 things were really big loads off my mind. The other thing, and this is where I want to get to those real resellers, unlike myself, that take time off at the end of January every year. I know 2 particular people who do exactly that. They take 1 full week off, they shut the store down completely, and they do all the things for the reselling business that they don't typically do to get it set. The organization, the cleanup, the ordering of stuff, all of it they do in a week, and they take care of their taxes as well. They do it all the same week, and it gives them a break and gets them ready to go for the rest of the year. I have one buddy of mine who is a full-time reseller, and he shuts his store down in the middle of each summer. He takes a week off in the summer, and 3 days before and 3 days after he gets back from his little vacation, he's off. And that's when he gets this kind of stuff done. Not the taxes, obviously. It's a little late for that, but you get the point. I've also been taking care of my accounting and getting ready for next year and getting everything set up for next year as well. Making sure that that's all ready to go, because accounting and all that stuff is so stressful to me, I just can't stand it. How about this little kid's Nike jacket? Look at the colorway on that. Really cool. Sold very quickly. Way faster than I thought. Sold for $25 plus shipping. Just so you don't think it's all negative about me out there. This message came in from Ronnie. Ronnie Loves Mike. Very cool name. I like that. I know you get a lot of messages, but I had to give you a huge thank you. About a month ago, you had given me advice on the Trash to Cash Facebook page on how to increase my sales, and it has worked very well. Over the past month, I've taken down more than half of my store, researched current comps, and done flat shipping on 85% of my listings. My sales have increased by easily 60% or more. I can't thank you enough for your suggestions and your information. God bless you and your family. Thank you, Ronnie. Now, I didn't read that just because it was something nice about me, because clearly I read things that aren't nice about me all the time. I read that because it's a different mindset. And she said that she read this on the Facebook group, because that's where I responded to her over there. Because so many people, even in our own Trash Cash Facebook group, now I'm just being honest here, I love that Facebook group. There's tons of amazing people in there, but you can see these people, the criticizers, the complainers, and the comparers. You can see them over there. And it's sometimes depressing, but there's a lot of great people. So who you surround yourself with, the kind of attitude you have, is the direction you will go in. So it's you know, that's why I gravitate to some content creators over others. But still, I will say the criticizers and the complainers can add a little value too if you have the right mindset yourself, because you can look at the things that maybe eBay is doing wrong, and you can kind of mitigate those by doing different things. So you kind of got to know your own personality a little bit. And, you know, some people, that's just naturally how you are. But if you surround yourself with people that are exactly like that, then you're not going to get any more eBay sales. Nothing's going to get better if that's all you do. Sold some more Damn It dolls. Sounds like some folks out there need some of these. This is Pittsburgh Steelers colors right here. I gave one of these to my boy for Christmas in his stocking. And I don't know if he liked it or not, but he likes the Steelers. And this one is going for $16 plus shipping. And I think this might be the last. Nope. This is the third of the 4 fake sales today. Hi, Kevin. Love your content. Keep up the good work. My husband's family are huge Steeler fans, and this doll would be perfect for my brother-in-law. He's always cursing at the TV during the game. It's sad I missed out on the Trump Damn It doll. Thanks again, Joni. My eBay store is KDog2022. Thank you, KDog. Appreciate it. Looks like we sold 4 pieces of clothing. And this one was, I was at a sale, man, this has been a year and a half ago. And we didn't get listed too long ago, but I bought it two years, or about a year and a half ago. And it was a sale that didn't have a ton of stuff. It was like picked over or something, I don't know. But there just wasn't much there. But the prices were super cheap. So I started to dig, and I came up with this one. It is a size small Stella McCartney Adidas, I don't know what kind of shirt, compression shirt of some sort. But I pulled the tag out to look to see what size it was, and saw that it was brand new. So even though it's a size small, which isn't a great seller, I picked it up for $1, and it sold for $22 plus shipping. Next one's a first-time buyer. I love first-time buyers for sure. I picked this one up in Florida, and it is a Funko Pop. I don't sell a ton of Funko Pops, but this one was Jesus. Like, how could you pass up Jesus? It's the Walking Dead Jesus, though, not the Jesus. But hey, it's in pretty darn good condition. And they asked us, it's not a viewer, but they asked us to put it in bubble wrap. In the comments, $17. $16.95 plus shipping. I forgot to put up the Damn It dolls right there, so I gotta walk this way. And this was the last fake sale, and it was a big one. So we really appreciate this one. And I think the name is Marcia, but I can't remember. Partridge Family, that one sold. Three's Company, that one sold. And I believe it's Lost in Space that sold. So we'll get those 3, and then we'll come back here for the other one. One was a purse as well, so it was an interesting combo of sales. And these have sold really well for us. We didn't make a ton because they were, if you remember that sale, they were priced like $8, $6, $10, and they don't go for a ton of money. Some of them do, but let me see if I can, well, I can't because it's all combined. I can't tell you what each one went for, but they were sealed, and they came down off their price about 40%, which made it kind of make sense, about, you know, 3 times profit, which was really good. So the other item is a Dooney & Burke purse. I think it's at the, well, I don't know. Let's see if we can find it. Step over this stuff. I think it's a big one though. Yeah, there it is right there. And so that Dooney & Burke purse, and that's a good one. That one sold for real good money. I can't remember how much exactly, but all told here for all 3 of these, $157 plus shipping for those 4 sales. And now that I look at it, I'm not entirely sure that this is a viewer. I'm just thinking it probably is a viewer, because you don't see people buy you know, one type of an item and then also something completely different very often. So I'm going to say, Marcia, thank you, even though you didn't leave a message. So we appreciate you very much. And since I shilled already, what the heck, we'll do it again. So my reseller Genie right here, I know a ton of people have signed up this month. And, you know, one of the big stressors, there's also I think this is an old card. There's another plan the folks have. It's as low as $9.99, but there's so many folks out there that struggle like I did forever with the accounting part of it. I hated it, and I did a terrible job of it. I'm so happy I've got my accounting life straight these days. And just want to thank you guys for going over there and signing up. Some of you who have signed up didn't use my code, which is fine, but you didn't get 15 off the first month. So it is code Commonwealth if you want to do that. And for those of you who don't want to do that, you know, I would encourage you, if you're new, find some system. You want to talk about taking time off. If you have no system and it stresses you out all year long, how much you're going to pay in taxes, you know, there's an estimator over there that gives you an idea of what you're probably going to have to pay, and it updates all the time. They show you your numbers. You talk about setting New Year's resolutions. They give you your exact numbers and the breakdowns and all the charts over there where you can compare the different categories you sell in and where you get the biggest bang for your buck, and it can allow you to make adjustments as you head into the new year to spend your time doing things that are making you more money. But, you know, I'm shilling it, obviously. However, no matter what out there, I think that it's becoming more and more important to make sure you get these things in place, because the margins, because of the fees that go up, because of all the different platforms and the difficulty in accounting if you're selling on multiple platforms, all that stuff's getting harder for normal folks. Now, there's a lot of people who do numbers really well, who just do it all themselves and everything's fine and dandy. That's not me. And if it's not you, I encourage you to do something out there. Find somebody. It's, you know, I finally broke down after years of doing all of it myself, started paying an accountant, and then we started doing all the tracking, and it's really helped. I feel like, I don't have the numbers to prove it, but I feel like I'm saving money because there's nothing I miss now for write-offs. I get them all on there. And we sold some Harry Potter stamps as well today. Here they are. I think they sold, I don't know. I told myself I'd do better at this. $26 plus shipping. Reagan's here, so Wallen came back, of course, and you had one sale out of the CommonwealthPicker.com store. What do you got?
Gideon got We Get Things Moving sticker.
Gideon. All right. Well, thank you, Gideon. We appreciate that. It's good to be back. You've had a long break, huh?
Yep.
Thank you, Reagan.
Bye, and don't forget to get your sticker at CommonwealthPicker.com.
Turner's got some Commonwealth comedy. What do you got, buddy?
What do you call a cow with no legs?
What do you call a cow with no legs? Your grandpa has cows. He got a bunch of them. He's a farmer, huh? Mm-hmm. What do you call a cow with no legs? I don't know.
Ground beef.
Thank you, buddy.
Bye.
Choking on
I'm joking on goldfish.
All right, y'all. We have a ton of folks who sent us stuff. Even more here. My mom called me, said she went to the post office, and there's even more. You guys do so much for us. I can check these out. These are stickers here for you, I assume, because I don't want them.
Oh, I think these are
the Hager family. We met them in Las Vegas. So thank you very much. And I just won't read what you said about Heather and your husband and me. So it's probably true. We tell them how it is. That's right. Thank you very much, Kim. We appreciate that. This one, I think I got this right. This one came from Fred. This is a Commonwealth. Is that a moose or a reindeer? What do you think?
Moose.
Moose? I'm going to say moose.
It's definitely a moose.
Catnip. I like it.
No way that's a reindeer.
And Turner, these are for you. And that came from Fred Tri-State Flips.
I know.
Fred Tri-State Flips. Well, thank you.
Thing right now.
New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. Maybe we can meet you someday. And this, I think if I've got it all right, came from Fire Princess 02 Christine.
Wally, what are you doing? He's trying to get treats.
You think that right there? I've been to Wrigley Field.
What? Oh, nice.
James Buckley Jr. There you go. That's a cool book. Well, thank you very much. Want to say thank you?
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. All right, I forgot one. Kids already left, but this was with this, so maybe I haven't mixed up, but there's your eBay ID. So thank you very much. And this came from the Hot Duke. It was very, very sweet, and we know you had a very difficult year this year, and we are sure you're missing Tina, but just wanted to say we're thinking about you and we appreciate you very much. And we also met you in Vegas, but a previous trip to Vegas during the Trash to Cash Vegas Bash, and that was a good time. So, hey, speaking of the Trash to Cash Bash, we have one going on in Florida. It's getting up against the deadline, though, getting pretty close. I think there's still tickets available if you go, I don't know where you go. Just go to CommonwealthPicker.com, scroll down to upcoming events if you're down in Florida and you want to come and join us, or contact Dave if that's possible. He doesn't respond to very many people, but you can contact him over there. So that'll be fun. It is the 16th, 17th, something like that. We're going to end it on the 20th. And we just got some fun activities and some good stuff and some thrifting and maybe going over to the Webster sale on the 22nd. There's all kinds of stuff we're going to be doing. We're going to be going live on Whatnot over there. We're going to be going live with multiple sellers, not just me. We're going to go live on Dibdit as well, I believe. And we're going to be having tons of people sell through the whole day live from the Webster. They've set up a spot for us there. Should be a good time. Come and see us. If you're there on the 22nd, we'd appreciate that. And I think this is airing after Reagan's first Disney show on Whatnot, but I think there's another show tonight, if I've got my dates right. So come on over and check us out on Whatnot. There's a link below if you've never done it before. We'll always have some giveaways and all that stuff. But thank you for listening to me ramble today. I appreciate it, and I hope your new year is going well. And you're selling stuff. It's slowed down. We've opened the store back up now, obviously, and we have only had 4 sales today. So I'm hoping to get a few more before the end of the day. We appreciate you. The rooster's out there making noise at night. Needs to go to bed. So thank you again, and we can't wait to see you next time.